Good morning, everyone. I think we are live on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. Okay. I still am very much learning how to read chat in a way that is manageable. Oh, hold on. There we go. Let me mute this tab. Okay, cool. All right, that should take care of everything, I think, is what I like. All right. And make sure, yeah, okay. I still had desktop off, so cool. It only takes me 3 minutes to get set up. That's fine. Okay, I hope you're all having a lovely day, had a lovely weekend. Let's get started on some things that are happening in the marketing world. AI opt out. So this is more of just radar information. Google says that it's looking into possible options for websites to opt out of AI search, which sounds not very smart for most businesses. Now, granted, there are websites where that might make sense. Google's mostly been getting in trouble with social sites, news sites, with paywalls. Well, AI in general, not just Google. My brain is stalling. Okay. Because, it's pulling content behind these paywalls or that is owned by other people. And so, maybe they'll look into a way to opt that out. There's, I think it was England that had some regulation discussions. So, it's thinking about getting ahead of that curve, that privacy curve, which is all well and good. But for most websites, that would be a really dumb move. Because you want to be found in AI search. That would greatly hinder most businesses succeeding in the coming years. Which is, and the headline made me really optimistic and then really sad. Because I would love to opt out of everything AI, but that's not what they mean. That'd be too good to be true. So, I just feel like I'm in such a funny position where I'm really skeptical of AI. I really don't like when businesses use generative AI to create content. And I'll put the emphasis on create. There are AI tools that are fine. And if I could opt out of all of that, that would be great. Wouldn't it be great not to see another AI generated flyer? This makes my skin crawl. Which is also kind of funny. The AI generated flyers, I have like what's that effect? Where the uncanny valley. So the flyers are giving me uncanny valley feelings, which is like, doesn't seem like necessary for survival, but okay. Quality algorithm. Is that right? That looks wrong. Anyway. Another funny headline from this week. So the most recent release of ChatGPT, they have admitted that they screwed up its writing. They really focused on coding and other things, and the writing portion of it is worse. And this should be a big concern for business owners, right? If you're relying on some sort of program to write for you and that program breaks, what are you going to do? And so the takeaway here, someone who knows how to write has to be involved in this process. Because otherwise, that GPT gets worse, your writing gets worse, your clients leave, and they are not coming back. You are not the only fish in. Now, on the other hand, to people who are trying to write their own content, trying to keep up, do take heart. The reality is that people will not read your stuff that closely. I'm an enigma in that I love words. I read them all with great intensity. My superpower, it's a dumb superpower. So yeah, not everybody will notice as much as I do. That's why I'm a copy editor and a proofreader. So you can get away with stuff. But that being said, you don't want to aim at the lowest end of the spectrum. You don't want to work with the assumption that nobody will read anything. You have to kind of aim at the middle, right? That is made me sad. But I don't want anybody to get hung up on perfectionism either. I'm trying to help my husband with his business. He's writing the content because he is a subject matter expert, but it takes him forever because he is so hung up. Like, bud, the likelihood that someone is going to read this and really internalize it, like, don't spend your life writing one blog post. You have to hit that happy medium of quality and quantity. Neither should be an extreme. When I was a teacher, the idea would be to teach to the B student, right? You don't want to slow it down enough that you're teaching to the student who's going to fail no matter what you do. And you don't want to speed it up so fast that you're engaging in high-level questions with only the A student who is going to get an A no matter what you do, right? Find those B students, people who can do good work, but do also still need a little help. That's basically the idea for writing the post too, right? For the most part, you're not having to write novels, you're not having to be the definitive answer on something, but you should be good enough that someone who finds it has their question answered. And there is something unique in it that makes it special to your business, shows off your experience. Have someone who can evaluate that for you, so you don't have to rely on ChatGPT and whether or not its writing quality changes. All right, last point today, not news, but it is February. Last month, I launched the first in a series of interviews. I'll do one a month about Christian business owners and their struggles, their strengths, their advice, whatever they want to talk about. It's their interview. And so the first interview with Arturo Del Rio is available on my website, and there's a summary on LinkedIn from Friday, so go back and check it out. Amazing dude, always love talking to him. And I would say my big takeaway is, you have to keep excellence at your core. Doing things for God is the ultimate good. But as a business owner, you also have to have a good product. It can't just be, I love God. You have to use the gifts that God gave you to make something really worthwhile in this world. Which I love because it's so easy, and I will admit this, to fall into the trap of, well, I should buy from other Catholics or other Christians. I should support this person because they go to my church, etc. But sometimes when I try to do that, I get very frustrated. I'll reach out to a business and be like, "Great, I'm going to prioritize this business. Maybe they're a little more expensive, maybe whatever. But if they have really bad customer service, for example, no, I'm not going to shop here just because you go to my church. You have to still have good customer service and a good product. But I'll give you first try." So I think that's a good reminder for us all that even when we lean into Christian virtue in our business modeling, that does not dismiss us from just doing good work. All right. Well, that is it for today. Hope you all had a nice time, and I hope you have a good week and a good February, starting off the month. I will see people for fun things tomorrow. I'll be playing video games with my husband. Then more Teach Yourself classics on Sunday, and I'll be back next week. I think I may have finally worked out all the live stream kinks. Because again, we are live in everything. I just have to remember to set up a YouTube event. That made that a lot easier. So next week, I'll hopefully figure out how to view chat in a way that isn't awkward. So always room for improvement.